in your description below your name there, your website, which is ntzr.co.uk. There will be some very familiar images, Manchester United related and otherwise, on that screen. You know, Ronaldo, of course, is wearing his Brazil kit, but there's the famous hat-trick he scores at Old Trafford and gets a standing ovation. There's also the 99 match, of course, that Ronaldo plays in, which has fonder memories for Manchester United fan. I'm talking about the Inter Milan match, of course. There's Gabby Batistuta on there, or El Batigol, who's just done an interview with Rio Ferdinand I watched the other day. Very interesting guy, and kind of very similar in many respects, Rob, to Alan. I always thought he was very similar to Alan Shearer in the way he played, which is obviously someone that we pursued a lot as well.
Yeah, and Ferguson really liked Batistuta, didn't he? Around the time, actually, after the game we're going to talk about, but I think the two seasons, or particularly the 1999-2000, so when Batistuta scored home and away against United, and he ended up going to Roma and winning the league, and I think the cost may have been prohibitive, and also United decided on a pretty good option from the Netherlands in albeit delayed a year, but he was keen on that. And I always think there are similarities. I always thought Van Nistelrooy was kind of the closest. So Alex Ferguson got to kind of scratching the Shearer itch. I know they're not identical, but there's quite a lot of similarities between them, particularly in just how ruthless they are, you know, when they hit the ball. I always remember a line from Ferguson's 96-7 diary about a Shearer goal against Poland. And he said to him, like, he hit the ball as if he wanted to kill it. And you get that with Ruud. You often hear like the noise when even a routine finish when he's through a goal, but just wallops it past the keeper. It's like a cannon. It's really interesting. So, yeah, those three were fairly similar, I think. And yeah, the other game you mentioned, the other picture is actually a game that's relevant to this, which is probably my most kind of frustrating game as a United fan, is the Real Madrid quarterfinal of 1990-2000, when, well, we might come to it later, but yeah, when United's reign as European champions came to a sudden and unpleasant end.
Yeah, when we definitely will come to it. So, yeah, exactly. You've touched on that too. Just one more thing on Shearer, though, compared to certainly Van Nistelrooy. The one thing I really liked about Shearer, which made him stand out for me, even compared to Van Nistelrooy, was actually outside the box and the ability to...
Yeah, that's a big difference. And likewise, Batistuta, you're right.
Batistuta as well,
Van Nistelrooy famously scored only one goal, I think, at Charlton for United from outside the box.
And did it go along the ground as well? It wasn't like a scream or anything?
It was. I can't remember now. But I can't remember because in the same game he scores straight after Keane is sacked, and in the same game he scores a stunning swivel volley. And that's the one I remember. But I think it might be like a poke. I'm not sure. But yeah, you're right. That is one big difference. But I think in terms of ruthlessness and power and kind of relentlessness, and they were all, and I say this generally in the nicest sense of the word, they were all bastards basically. They were just like murderous purpose, you know, when they got within sight of goal. And so, yeah,